The Dragon and the Bear: How the West Accidentally Created Its Greatest Rival. Today, the world feels divided again. Russia in Ukraine, China eyeing Taiwan, and the West struggling to hold its grip. But this rivalry didn't start today. Its roots go back nearly a century, to an unlikely friendship between Mao Zedong and Joseph Stalin, and a fateful decision by the West that changed global power forever. This is how the Sino-Russian ideological split, and the West's response, accidentally built the greatest anti-Western alliance of the 21st century. Mao's revolution in Stalin's shadow, 1949 to 1953. After World War II, China was torn apart. The Republic of China, led by Chiang Kai-shek and his Kuomintang, was losing ground to the communists under Mao Zedong. By October 1, 1949, Mao stood atop Tiananmen Square and declared, "The Chinese people have stood up." He modeled his new People's Republic after Stalin's Soviet Union, but Stalin's brutal policies had already killed millions, especially during Ukraine's Holodomor famine, 1932-33, which wiped out almost a third of the Ukrainian population. When Stalin died in 1953, his successor Nikita Khrushchev, a Ukrainian himself, sought to bury that legacy. The Sino-Soviet Split, 1956 to 1960. In 1956, Khrushchev shocked the communist world with his secret speech, denouncing Stalin's crimes. He called for peaceful coexistence with the West, a move Mao saw as weakness. China accused Moscow of revisionism, while the Soviets called Mao's Great Leap Forward madness. By 1960, the two communist giants had split. Their border became one of the most militarized places on Earth. That rift, born of ideology and ego, would later reshape the entire world order. The West steps in, 1972. By the early 1970s, the US saw an opportunity. If China and the Soviet Union were enemies, Washington could use one to contain the other. So in 1972, US President Richard Nixon did the unthinkable. He visited Beijing to meet Mao Zedong. It was the diplomatic earthquake of the century, but it came with a price. The US formally recognized the One China policy, sidelining Taiwan, America's old ally. Taiwan became a de facto state, protected, but never officially acknowledged. That strategic ambiguity still fuels tension today, as Beijing threatens reunification, and the US pledges to defend Taiwan if attacked. Capitalism enters communist China, 1978 to 1990s. When Deng Xiaoping took power in 1978, he did what Mao never could: merge communism with capitalism. He opened China's economy to foreign investment and Western industries. Factories, technology, and global trade turned China into the world's manufacturing hub, funded, ironically, by Western corporations. The US believed that engagement would liberalize China. Instead, it industrialized a superpower. From rivalry to reunion, 2000s to 2020s. After the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, Russia fell into chaos. But as NATO expanded eastward and US influence grew, Vladimir Putin began rebuilding ties with China. Meanwhile, China's Xi Jinping rose to power in 2012, promising a great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. Both leaders shared one message: the era of Western dominance is ending. By the 2020s, the Dragon and the Bear had reunited, this time not for ideology, but for power. Together, they built new institutions, BRICS, now expanding beyond its original members. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization, linking Asia's major economies, and joint military drills, from the Pacific to the Arctic, openly challenging the US and its allies. The new Cold War, 2022 present. When Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, China didn't condemn it. Instead, Beijing increased trade with Moscow, buying discounted oil, sharing technology, and shielding Russia diplomatically. At the same time, China escalated pressure on Taiwan, flying jets across its airspace and warning the US to stay out. The same ideological line that divided Mao and Khrushchev decades ago has evolved, from communism versus capitalism to East versus West. The ironic outcome: the West once believed it could isolate Russia by befriending China. Instead, it built a super alliance of two nuclear powers, with massive populations, technological prowess, and control over critical industries. The Dragon and the Bear are now back to back, not as rivals, but as partners in reshaping the world order. In conclusion, history has come full circle. From Mao and Stalin's uneasy bond, to Xi and Putin's strategic partnership, the echoes of the past now shape the future. It should be noted that ideological divergence isn't the same as belonging to an entirely different ideology. This explains why China and Russia can easily do away with their differences. If this story gives you a clearer view of how history builds today's world, like, comment, and share, and don't forget to subscribe for more history that explains the headlines.